Hello geeks, it's Mr. Chris. That's right, we're here, we're back at an unusual time today because we are celebrating the launch of the Kickstarter for Crown of Ash. Yes, that's right, we have got the game designer Richard Lawton from Card Noir joining us live on stream on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch as we discuss the launch, answer any questions that you guys have, and also have a bit of fun and banter with Grant Lyon. Yeah, the comedian and board game enthusiast who will be joining us from the US. So stay on. The show will be starting very soon as we have a laugh and have a hoot and launch this amazing game on Kickstarter Live. See you in a moment. Honey Badger Games sponsors Diary of a Lincoln Geek, the perfect treat for any class. They have an amazing selection of meeples, dice and potions, all in fantastic jelly form. Check out the website and the discounts below. Hey!
Hello!
Hello everyone, we are live. Yes, we're live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. We are here to celebrate an amazing launch of a Kickstarter. It's so excited about this. I'm tingling and I'm goose pimples because I'm here with some amazing people. The first person I need to remind you all of is the designer right next to me, Richard Lawton of Crown of Ash. Yeah, he's here. Hello. Hope you're doing all right there, mate.
Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Really good, really good.
Used to be nice to see loads of people on.
At the very end, yeah, people are on, all saying hello up. We've got Grant Lyon.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Amazing to have you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited for this. And we are literally pressing the launch button during this stream, right?
Yep, we are.
Yeah. I'm excited to see both I'm excited to see both the hope and the fear in your eyes.
Yeah, if anything goes wrong, you'll see it all live.
Exactly. We've got some peeps online where they're all wishing us luck. Woohoo! Thank you, Saracen. We've got Tom Brook again. He's there as well. Peter Marshall's there as well.
Hey guys,
We're really
indeed.
excited. So make sure you're all hitting that share, that like button, and if you're not, already, you haven't already, then make sure you do, because we're really excited about this. I know, and I am particularly. I've been following this game from really early on. Back in the day of the old Facebook designer groups when they were quite new during lockdown, weren't they, Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was kind of saving grace of it, really, being able to go online.
Exactly. So it's all good to go. We're scheduled to be hitting that button at 4 o'clock, aren't we? That's the plan.
Yeah, I've been warned. There's a terms and conditions page, and I will read it all live.
The entire stream is just reading the terms and conditions.
Get excited, guys.
Yeah,
that's fine. Well, worst case scenario, if we don't show that bit and you just want to hit the go button, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin says you can't believe we're finally got here. Yes, that's right, Martin. We are. It's very exciting. I've obviously got questions, but before we hit that all important button, Grant, obviously it's great that you're here. For anyone who's not familiar with Grant, you're a comedian, aren't you? And a fellow board game content creator.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, no, I've been a comedian for a long time and didn't become a board game content creator until the pandemic, when all of my tour dates were canceled. I just, I was a guy that owned a lot of board games and liked a lot of board games before the pandemic, but then just, needed something creative while all my shows were canceled. Thought I was going to make board game videos for like 3 months and then the world would be back to normal. And then here we are 3 years later. Yeah.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so people have already got the Kickstarter page up and they're ready to,
I
hit
thought
the button.
I'd put it live. I was like,
so, how long has this process been for you, Richard? Where I'm coming in here late, hearing about the game late, but we obviously have a lot of people that have been following the process for a while and excited about it.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I think the whole process probably 4 years in the making or something like that, but only really when it got to, start of the pandemic is when I kind of was like, okay, if I'm ever going to do it, now's the chance, right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of, everything, suddenly you had loads of free time and you're like, okay, I'm doing something with it. And Tom Brook, who's on stream, he's been my kind of guinea pig from start to finish. He's pretty much played every single rendition of the game, the good, bad, and very
good lad.
So yeah, thanks, Tom. And also, if you go to conventions, Tom's the one that usually teaches the game because he's a lot better at it than I am.
He's better at it than your own game.
Designers
I've heard this many a time.
Yeah, you can't win your own game. The last time I played it, I came last by quite a way. And
yeah, you lost it when I played as well, didn't you? That first time.
But so yeah, that's but yeah, when it got to kind of beginning of lockdown, I joined a virtual playtest group called VPT, who so when it started in that, it had the combat was done primarily with dice.
He remembers that.
Yeah. It was fun, but you soon learn that like getting dice combat or anything with dice right is so tough. Like, yeah,
it can be frustrating when you're like, I guess I hurt this dice's mother because this dice hates me.
Yeah, very true.
And it was a particularly punishing game. I think it's quite funny how I've now, what I've realized is what I kind of enjoy is actually not punishing as much as possible, even though it's a very kind of conflict heavy game. So it's gone from one extreme to the other. I think it's like now it's actually quite good to lose in this game in this strange way. Because the early ones, it was definitely not. But it also started off, as mentioned before stream, it started off as a kind of a recipe game, like a cooking game was the initial.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if I ever made Tom play any of the cooking part of it, but yeah, it started off as, I even saw in the old files, I still have the initial file name. It was called Delicious Malicious at one point as a placeholder name.
Wow, how different is it now?
I know, but it had some quite cool mechanics. Had a mechanism where when you got kind of the ingredients, which is now kind of alchemy ingredients, it basically lost its potency, or they before that is kind of, they went from being fresh to being rotten, and there was this kind of thing where you could use rotten ingredients, but you had a chance of poisoning your. So it's a kind of push your luck, and I really liked that, and that maintained into then the alchemy theme, the kind of necromancy theme, and I was just like, someone in the playtest group was like, "Why is that there?" And I was like, "That's a really good point. Yeah, it shouldn't be." So I really like that.
Would you say that's the thing that was hardest to like cut for you? I mean, every time you got to follow the game where it takes you, but sometimes Absolutely. You're like, man, I really wish we could have kept that one thing.
Yeah, that was true, because that was what I thought was the kind of hook initially. It was kind of started off as the idea of you're getting ingredients, you're serving some customers, and then some kind of area control element of being like, each of you produces, say like each of you has a farm or something like that, and then you have to deal with that person for their ingredients, that kind of idea. It wasn't fully realized, but soon I realized that you kind of needed some way of taking off, and then involving some combat. And then the necromancy theme, although it's kind of a dark theme, was brought out of the idea of it not being so punishing. So then you could bring back your kind of recruited fighters at the end of each term, and it's thematically good. That makes sense, but also it means that you never get really that punished. And actually, if you get like picked on in a round in this game, at the end of the round you get all your fighters back, and then you're going to come for some revenge. So if you've got that kind of thing of like, I'm coming for you because you hurt me.
Yeah, you're never quite, punished for a runaway leader with it. You're really not, because it's almost like that, like you said, that factory reset element each round. So I've played a game and it turned around. I thought I'd had nailed it in the bag with my missus when the first time I played it, and then she absolutely trounced me. So again, I can never win a game with my missus around. She's better at board games than me, and she's not around to hear me say it either.
Yeah.
Tom says he never played the cooking game. I did used to like the decaying resources. Way more streamlined and less punishing now, though.
Yeah, I did like that. That was a hanger-on, because I did really like that mechanic, but it just didn't make sense. It's and yeah, I think, well, that's always things I think, well, actually maybe, and it probably will come up, if you do it in future games, I'll probably think, oh, I actually really like that. I'll try that again. I'll probably end up cutting it again, but it's wherever it leads you.
For sure. Was there ever a time you felt stuck in the design process, and how did you push through that?
Yeah, there was a point where I had, I think at one point of the game was before I switched to kind of like the kind of gory ingredients it has now, which is blood, bone, sulfur, and ash, which are the kind of like alchemy ingredients. The reason I picked those was because they initially had sort of the four elements, like fire, water, earth, and air, but they were just proving, in terms of like colorblind friendliness, they were rubbish, really bad. Especially stuff like yellows and greens and reds just was really bad. But I can't remember what the other one is, but at one point I had 5 resources in the game, and it was it had this kind of thing where you could always get resources, but they kind of got cheaper as you went. It was this kind of mechanic of, as the kind of worker spaces got used up, you got kind of less and less resources. But it was just one of the things where it's like the economy in the game just wasn't quite right. It's like the bones were there, but and you could feel it was just like, I mean, the mathsy part of the game, of game design, is not my forte. Like, it took me a long time. It took me a really long time to kind of get my head around the Excel spreadsheet part of game design, which is, that's a really, funny enough, getting good at Excel, I think, is one of those skills you don't think you're ever going to learn in game design. You're like, okay, I'm going to need to learn formulas.
Yeah.
But, speaking of formulas, we're going to have to start reading some of those terms and conditions in a minute, mate.
Oh, true. Oh, it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're on. All right. Well, let me get to the place.
Get to the nitty gritty. Let's get hitting that button.
Oh,
excited, everyone. If you aren't already know what's going on, we are here live as Richard is about to hit the go live button on his Kickstarter for the game Crown of Ash. It is a worker placement area control based game, and he is quickly, frantically getting himself through all the terms and conditions ready so that button is hit. Well, I've not been through this process. Kickstarter is completely new to me. Grant, have you done a Kickstarter?
I have not done a Kickstarter. No, there's a lot of pages on the back end you got to go through here.
Yeah. I was missing this page, so I've just probably showed everyone my payment details.
That's fine. I don't think anyone might have seen it. I think we might be good.
Right. Let's click
here we go. It's ready to launch.
This is
the moment.
I read those. If there's any lawyers on stream for Kickstarter, I read those beforehand. They're all taken care of.
Yeah.
This is it. Let's see it launch.
3, 2, 1.
Yay!
Yay! Is it done?
That's it. It's live.
There it is.
Nice.
We'll see.
That's what I'm saying. Who's going to be the first backer? Come on. Who is there? Let's see it go. That 0 go. I don't want that 0 there. In 3, 2, 1, refresh. Hit that refresh. I want that 0 gone. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone again.
That's brilliant. In the
again.
First few seconds. That's amazing. That is brilliant. That's what we like to see. Really,
Incredible.
really tough.
Who was it? I'll have a look later and I'll give him a shout out. But
yeah, we'll give you a shout out in a moment. Let's have a look through the campaign. Let's have a quick look through the messages very quickly. So David Pender is saying, I love the thing about this game already is that it feels so rife with lore and potential here is incredible, which is, I totally agree. It's really good. We've got lots of people saying, wishing you luck with the Kickstarter, which is really nice. Tom Brook, Jonathan Archer is saying, good best of luck, Rich. I'm sneaking a hello at work, so I can't be here too long, but just wish you the luck with an espresso. There you go. So you got a coffee later. So I'm guessing it's going to be a late one for you. Pete Marshall, again, is also saying, good luck, mate. Yeah. Oh, David Pender's really upset. Apparently he's back in number 3, but that's fine.
Top five.
And David says someone beat him to number 1. So it's not David. It's not
Scott
Pete.
From
I wonder who it could be.
Scott from Minerva and Tom from Trolls and Rerolls both were saying they were going for number 1 as well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing.
P.S. Grant Lyon, you made it stateside, joining the Beatles on One Direction. You should be proud.
Is it Lion or Leon?
It's Lion.
It is Lion. Thank God I got it right.
I thought it was Leon.
I forgot to ask you at the start.
I'm the last name is Scottish, but if you want to talk about history, right, with the invasion in 1066, maybe it was French 1,000 years ago before they got to Scotland.
Did they? Yeah, I suppose they probably did.
Yep, the invasion of your island.
Brilliant.
Gilliam, back a 1 or 2.
I was frantically refreshing the page to back it. Let's go. Yes, well, exactly. You're already doing amazingly well. I'd love to see over a couple of K by the end of the show. But let's have a very quick kind of look through the campaign. So do you want to leave your screen up as we look through the campaign, or do you want me to show my screen?
You can show your screen if you want. Yeah, I can do some of my admin.
Let me just bring it up while you do a bit of admin in the background. Bear with me.
My screen.
Thank
you all to the backing so far. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm always just interested in how did you decide on the time frame, right? We'll see some Kickstarters that are 14 days, some that are 30, some that are 45. How did you decide on the number of days you wanted to do?
I think there's always that kind of dreaded slump in the middle. I don't think even huge campaigns have that kind of like, whoom, and then it's sort of, and the hope is that you still kind of crawl up. So I don't know if there is like a sort of a good rule. I've seen shorter campaigns do really well. And I think for my own kind of. I think I don't know if I could take it for longer than 3 weeks. Every morning I'm going to be waking up like, and also just managing the Kickstarter, because I'm I'm one guy from the UK. I've got a few helpers here and there, but if people have got questions, they're going to have to wait for me to be awake. So,
well, if people have got questions about the campaign, they can ask them here while we're on live. Feel free. I am moderating the comments. If you've got a question or a query, please do pop them up. But we're going to have a look through the campaign now ourselves. So, of course, as always, you should, if you don't want a copy of the game, but you're still impressed with the campaign, you can pledge without a reward. But I don't know why you'd do that, because it looks bloody amazing. And I had this over a year ago. Okay, I had a prototype copy that Richard had manufactured yourself, hadn't you?
No, that was my own. No,
that was your own one.
One was done by Rob Butler, who's kind of.
But either way, there are elements that you'd 3D printed yourself.
Oh, there was.
Rob Butler, who does he's some great production stuff here in the UK. So shout out, Rob. The prototype was impressive. I was impressed by the prototype. I'm a very much, like things nice and shiny and looking beautiful. And it was your artwork that, of this, that, and the concept designs that really grabbed my attention, because I'm a ooh shiny syndrome person. I don't know about you, Grant. Do you like things when they look nice?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And this looks phenomenal. So why would you not back this to have a copy of the game?
Yeah.
So let's have a quick look. So
I do love the brightness of the stuff, because it's a pretty dark theme, but it's still got some brightness to it. I like that.
Yeah, that's a really tough balance to get. I've tried to keep it the kind of artwork's really so I did all the graphic design myself for I worked with 2 illustrators to do it. So the artwork is very sort of gritty, necromantic, but a little bit kind of cartoony, so it's not too kind of dark and so.
Yeah.
And then I've tried to keep all the graphic design super clean and tidy, because there's so much of that. When you have sort of a gritty theme, people kind of really go down that kind of everything's sort of like charcoal, which actually would be quite thematic. But everything very gritty, everything very dark, and it's a really tough balance to kind of
For sure.
To work out. I think I managed to do it all right. I think
you did.
Yeah.
There's certain practical elements to it, like the card artwork being really clean without a background was by design, because when it sits on the board, you really want it to be kind of tidy and that to be easy to read and things like that.
Tom Burke makes a really valid point, and this is one of the things that I really loved about it too, because of course the board is double-sided. I don't know if you're aware, Grant, and there's 2 sides. You've got the bright, colourful one that you see here on graphic, and someone's trying to message me, and it's a really bad time. It's not near 3 o'clock, is it? No, that's fine. It's good. At least it's not the competition on the radio. I just hung up on. The grayscale side looks really, really good. So it really does.
Yeah, I really like that. I did put it to a vote in the Facebook group, and I think most people like the colourful side, but you can see the grey side just above that. But the grayscale side, it's got if you keep going up, so there's this you've got lower than that. Yeah, you can just see.
Just get a hint there. Yeah,
but it's that appeals to my kind of the emo kid in me. I like the grayscale. I like the depressedness of it, but also I really like that the player colors really pop out on that.
No, that's the one thing I like about it as well, especially with that pink. It looks really good, really vibrant. But yeah, so you, of course, you've got 3 main pledge levels here, which I really like. You kept it nice. So you've got the base pledge, which is the base game, and then of course you've got a nice deluxe level with the baggies and the metal dice. Is that metal round tokens? Yeah.
Spooky resin. But yeah, they should be really nice.
Yeah, that looks really good.
And
then of course you've got your
for the
Rising Fighter expansion as well, which is nice.
Yeah, that should be cool, because that'll allow you to kind of free up that board artwork as well, because you use the cards for when you recruit the fighters, so they have the kind of recipe for recruiting. And then once you've raised them, you can put them in a pile, and that makes the end game scoring for those really easy. And you can replace the them for the game going ahead with just the standees. So we've got little screens to hide them behind for when you kind of go into battle. But yeah, and that'll kind of really make the artwork really shine, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Martin really likes the grayscale as well, and I agree.
Yeah, it's because he's from the north.
Yeah. So Scott, from Minerva, we all know Scott. We love Scott. He's a great guy. He says he got backer number 2. Do we actually know who got backer number 1?
I don't know.
Are we going to do a shout out for backer number 1?
I don't know who backer number. I suppose I could find out, but I don't want to put him on blast.
That's fine. Well, we're having a look through this really quickly. So your next stretch goal is to use cubes for the custom shapes. Ooh, I'd like to see that.
I'm so excited for that one. That's why I put it as my lowest stretch goal, because I just think that those cubes will just look so much nicer. If we can get that.
Oh look, Brains on Games. Yes, nice reviewer here. Brains on Games. I like Dr. Brian. He's good.
Yeah.
He's giving you a nice quote there. That's lovely. So we've got our overview and our breakdown, which is really nice. I love the colors of your lords here. So the pick your lord, is a nice concept. And the lore I love behind this as well. I mean, I think you nailed this. Who helped you out with that?
So my girlfriend, I've roped her in because she's she's an author as well. She hasn't been published yet, but she's written a few books. So I've enlisted her to write the backstory, and I'll be giving them away to backers for free as just a sort of PDF lore. It'd be nice, actually. I've asked for some quotes to try and get them made actually up into books, but into sort of little mini short stories. But yeah, the lore's become quite rich for this. It's just become those little things of each Instagram post kind of wrote a little bit about it. And yes, that's actually something I'd like to expand on. So get prepared for the Netflix series.
Yeah, well, you never know. Netflix take up all sorts. It's looking really nice, and one of the things I noticed really quite early on was the quality of the rule book. Nicely written, nicely laid out. Because I don't know about you, Grant, but rule books can be a subject of bone of contention.
Oh, for sure. You knew a lot of them.
Yeah, well, exactly. We're all board game reviewers. We will play lots of board games because, let's face it, we don't have enough. We've all got a problem.
For the rule book, if I think I'm pretty dyslexic, and I think that really helps because it basically, if I can avoid words wherever I can, I will do it. So when I'm writing the rule book, it's become as many kind of picture examples as I can get because it's just super clear. Because if I can't read it and if I can't write it, it's I mean, if I can read it, even it's pretty clear.
Oh look, we made it!
Hey,
yeah, nice.
That links through to the review as well. So reviews.
Lovely. I must admit, I'm really glad you emphasised the solo mode in here. And I know my friend over at Ninja Geek Games, he did it. He played it, didn't he? The AI mode.
Really good playthrough of that.
Yeah, really good
playthrough. Over the asymmetric powers there. Just a new feature.
Sorry? Oh, nice.
So this is something we've been
not played this version.
I think what we're going to do is try and put it out in the updates so people can kind of suggest things. So I know how they're going to work and I know kind of what they should do, but it basically will be hopefully the kind of community can put some ideas out there and we can test them and see which works. I mean, that's fun. It could be a really fun way of getting people involved. So this would be as kind of advanced mode because it's not hugely necessary, but people have said for like that kind of next level of replayability and stuff, it'd be really nice to have something. And so that's something I'm really excited about including into the game as well.
That's fun to get the community involved in that as well.
Yeah, so I think that's a cool idea because this has been a really collaborative process. Really, I couldn't have done it without stuff like Scott from Playtest UK and Lucy's in there as well. The kind of South London Playtest groups and that I've kind of joined Go To Weekly now was kind of really helpful with taking it to that next level. And like the community's been the only reason this has actually become got to the level it's got to now. So why not?
The community is incredible. The support, the people that are out there, the multiple communities. You've got board game, play UK. You've got all the play tests. You've got the designer groups. Anyone out there, who got a game design and wants to, are considering it. Facebook groups are your friend. And also, believe it or not, TikTok.
Yeah,
I would have never have thought it, but it was a year and a half ago my TikTok experience started. I've met so many amazing people, Grant being one of them, and I can't thank them enough. I've had Mondo Davis on the show. We've had some great people come over from the board game TikTok community, and it's an amazingly supportive. It's massive, and for anyone who thinks, "Oh, TikTok's for kids," you'd be surprised. Go check it out. Don't be afraid, because you've got amazing content creators out there, and Grant's one of them. I love the videos, and I love the banter that is brought through on the videos. So.
It almost makes me want to get an account watching Grant's videos.
Thank you.
I refuse for now.
You refuse for now, right? Well, we won't tell. Good job we're not streaming to TikTok today. But yes, no, it's really good, and I look forward to trying the asymmetric powers because, of course, I played a very early version of the game, and I know there's been changes, and that's one of them, isn't it? So.
Yeah, well, the version you played is fairly close, but these are just kind of little enhancements. There's a few other things I'm excited about which can enhance the gameplay.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think is everybody's going to have a different part of the game that they fall in love with. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, there's different things for different people. What is your own personal favorite as the designer of the game? Do you have something you just love about the game the most?
Oh, let me think. It's tough. I think I've always found it really. I really enjoy just raising these fighters. I mean, it kind of gives you that the buzz that you're building your engine, you're building your hand, your deck. I think when you get like one of the top level fighters, that's good. I think that's one of those decent parts of the game. Or when you manage to, I think one of the things, when you lose a battle, but the other person thought you weren't going to try and lose, so you kind of get that thing where you're like, because you can do this thing where when you get into a battle, if someone's going to attack you, you can basically like use a really weak hidden card. Each have these kind of set of 5 combat cards, and I really like it when someone goes hard and they'll beat you by like 8 points, and you're like, well, I didn't actually care. I really like it.
Because all you wanted to do was resurrect another card, and you've got it because that's what you wanted for a further battle later round, and that's the element of this I love as well.
Yeah, I think I really enjoy that because not only you lose, but you feel like you won, and I think that's nice. That's a nice thing.
Yeah. So David Pender's got a very quick question. How up to date is the TTS mod?
Yeah, updated it last night, and I've added in one of the stretch goals as well, which fingers crossed we hit, because otherwise it lives on the TTS only. There's still a couple of pieces of art to do for it, but
he's found it. Brilliant.
So TTS is has been fully updated, so that should be it. But it's
So should we have a quick look at what's in the box? Because I'm intrigued, because obviously there's been development changes since, of course, what I've had in that original over a year ago now prototype. Nice English rulebook, but of course, are you having it designed for any other countries?
So we're working with a licensing company to basically try and get localized versions of it, because getting kind of translations done I'm kind of a bit dubious about it. I don't want it to be wrong. So I'd rather a company take it. So the thing is, because we've signed China, and there'll be a German version coming.
Nice.
So they'll be produced separately. But yeah, so fingers crossed we get a few more languages going, because I'd love to offer French and Spanish would be fantastic. Italian too would be amazing. I mean, it's a fairly language independent game. I mean, it's only the rulebook that really has the language you need, but still, there's
still a process behind it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, yeah, fingers crossed. We'll have a few more languages in the next few months.
Nice.
Probably, if they're available after the campaign, they might be available through the pledge manager as well. So, still worth doing that kind of $1 or £1 pledge.
I love the double layered player mats. You had those in the original concept that I had, and they were really nice then. So I look forward to see what they're like when
they're really nice
and done. Recessed pieces are always good, because I remember the first time I played Eclipse and it didn't have it, and I had to buy the plastic layers to go over the top, so bits didn't go everywhere. It's the worst thing ever. So the
Terraforming Mars is always the example people give. Like, you knock that and you're like, oh well,
that's
game's
game
over.
Yeah. Game's over. We all win.
It's always a good strategy if you're losing.
Moral victory for everyone.
Oops.
Oops. Table flip.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, one of the videos that I saw, on you did a while back on TikTok isn't actually in one of the conventions you went to. There was a table flipping competition.
Oh yeah, there's a whole Tantrum Con.
Okay.
They do a whole table flipping competition.
Oh, my anxiety went off incredible.
I'm sure a lot of gamers' anxiety.
It was like bits everywhere. No.
Yeah.
I quite like the idea if you then had to flip pieces and then the pieces had to land in areas, a bit like sort of a kind of
like a bottle flipping.
Like curling.
Richard's next board game concept is being developed now in his head as we speak.
Table curling, there you go. Someone sits there with a broom and you knock the pieces off the table and they have to brush it into the area. Played on ice.
There you go. Tom Brooks made a nice little comment here. The combat card dynamic is such a great touch, and it makes much more worthwhile with bluff attacks. I totally agree. Yeah. I love the bluff attack element of this game, and I think that's what's the charm of it. So no, great
I think
comment.
That's the one thing that's hard to get across in TTS is like you got that kind of poker thing. You need to see the person you're fighting. You need to see what they're going to do.
And that's the pros of con of Dead Tree versus digital games. So no. Sorry, we call it Dead Tree format.
I haven't heard that before, but
feel free to use it. Of course, you're also in here. You're getting the double-sided game board, which we all love. People have their favorites. It's very split in the community, but let us know in the comments what you guys think. I know some have already commented on that. The reference cards, which we always need reference cards. They're useful. Of course, you've got the turn tracker, which I love. The turn tracker, I love the whole phases of the moon element that you've built into the game, and even the box design. I spotted that. Of course, all the gorgeous illustrated fighter cards. Meant to ask you on that one, what finish are you going for on those? Are you doing a matte finish or
at the minute matte finish? I think because they don't get shuffled much, I'm not going to do the linen finish.
Thank you.
Am
I the only one on here that doesn't like linen finish?
I like the feel of it. I don't like the look of it.
Oh,
I might be alone in that one, but
it does. It looks awful, and especially if they're foiled. It's one of the upsets that I was annoyed with my copy of Marvel Dice Throne, because they've got foiled cards and they're linen finish and they're shiny, so they're impossible to read in certain lights. So I'm really glad you didn't go down that route personally. Selfish reasons here.
Yeah.
David agrees linen's overrated. Pain in the backside to shuffle, I find as well.
I thought the benefit was to allow that kind of air in to shuffle, but
I don't know.
I'm not sure on linen finishes. I don't think it's going to happen for this.
Did you leave space for sleeved cards?
There will be. Chris, every time I see Chris, are you leaving space for me to sleeve the cards? Like, there will be space to sleeve the cards.
Are you a sleever, Grant?
No,
he's against the sleeve.
I am. It is too much work. It is. I would rather play the game for 45 minutes than sit there and sleeve my cards for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
Also, I try to not play my games with Neanderthals, so my
Neanderthals and heathens. Yeah. Look, it always amuses me that things that wind up Chris. Yes, it is. It's really funny that wind me up, Martin. David loves the matte look of this. I do. And apparently, David says we're already 50% funded, lads. Let's do a quick refresh.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Let's do a quick refresh.
Wow,
yeah, you're halfway there.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
So we've been live for 40 minutes, guys, and you're already 50% the way there, Richard. Well, congratulations.
And I think we only hit live 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, to live 25 minutes.
That's
a great start. And keep backing it, guys. We've got a couple more elements we didn't look at.
Back it again.
Yeah. So we're in the elements section, weren't we? So yeah. So you got nice turn tokens, nice markers, your king card. Is he got a gold type? Yeah, he has. He's got a gold header, gold touch.
It won't be foiled or anything like that.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah,
control tokens, combat cards. See, I like cubes. I'm a big fan of games with resource cubes.
I think that's. I don't mind cubes, but I'd like to upgrade them. Also, if we upgrade them, I think at the minute the game's like 99.9% colorblind safe. But I think if you upgrade them, it'll be like 100. So that means that one person in 1,000 will basically be able to play it easier, which is
that's amazing. And I think often it's an element that's overlooked.
Yeah,
because I remember there was a game, that Dino Girl reviewed, and she said it wasn't designed for colorblind people at all. It was terrible.
Yeah,
I'm not going to mention it on screen.
It's like 8% of males are colorblind.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly large amount.
Yeah, really big. It's a point where when you play at conventions and when you play it and playtest and stuff with enough people. Every day at a convention, someone will be colorblind, and you'll be like, "It's okay, you'll be fine." But yeah, if you don't have that, you'll notice.
I love the meeples in this. The meeples are great.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, they are fun.
Hopefully, sneak peek at one of the stretch goals is to screen print those as well with some little.
I was going to ask that.
Pieces, yeah.
So, of course, we've got the double-sided game board with all pledge levels, which is really nice. So thank you. I really love that. The split divide's incredible. And I must admit, I like the black and white, but it's still vibrant for me.
I like the color, so.
But well, there you go. We all have preferences, but it's nice that we've got both options.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got reviews by Punchboard, which is also nice. I mean, everything's so clean. The graphic design and all the elements just have looked great from early concept. So looking forward to the metal enamel tokens. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, they look really lovely.
And those custom dice look really nice as well. So yeah, the all-in pledge. This is everything you get in the all-in pledge. The player screens, the mod, the Rising Fighter modules, which you don't get. They look really nice. I really like those.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really cool.
Yeah. Oh, this looks amazing. And of course, it is available on TTS for everyone and Tabletopia for anyone who wants to go online and check it out. Maybe give it a play before backing it if they're not in two minds.
Yeah, Tabletopia is completely free. I haven't used it myself. They kindly built it for me, which is
that's good.
But I'm definitely a tabletop simulator guy. But it's nice that it's kind of accessible to everyone, which is cool.
Well, that's how we played it the first time around, wasn't it?
Mm. Oh well, tabletop simulator we did, yeah.
Yeah. So that's funded already?
No, not yet.
I was going to say
it's got the big padlock there. I'll have to update that if you do.
Yeah. So upgrade cubes to custom shapes. Yeah, I'd like that. I do like cubes, but the custom shapes look great.
Yeah, they'll change on the card artwork as well, so that'll kind of have a knock-on effect from everything. Yeah. So there'll be a bit of design to do. And this is the next one, the Automaton kind of mini expansion. This is something that we've been playtesting with for quite a while now, and it's very fun. It allows basically a glass cannon approach to the fighting, where you have these kind of mechs, and the difference with these is they're cheap to recruit, and they mainly use gold, but they're only loyal for like a certain amount of time, like a small amount of time. So basically, after a combat, they immediately go back into the decks to be recruited again. And they also, if you leave them on the board in like defensive positions, they'll go back into the decks. But at the end of the game, if you have them in your hand, they're worth negative victory points. So you kind of have to plan when you want to use them. But it means there's always fighters to recruit now, which is really good. You basically hardly ever run out. But it also means that players can really go hard on the attacking, but they'll leave themselves really poorly defended. And if you put them in defensive positions, if someone just bluffs an attack against you, they're completely wiped out. They'll go back to the decks. So I love that kind of the way they work. I think it's a really good addition. So a couple of pieces of art still to be done with those, but yeah, I'm hoping we hit that, because then we can afford the sheet that they'll print on.
I'm intrigued about that next goal after the 15k. It's going to be announced.
You just have to wait. I can't give it all away at once.
You can't give it all away yet. I'd like to see, you know, some form of screen printing, or maybe even a player mat, because I'm a bit of a sticker for a player mat. Never know. We'll see what happens. But no,
might get one of those.
He might just send me one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is we touched just on this earlier, but you've actually got this on screen to show, you know, what you can see, you know, being colorblind. So that's incredible. So it's nice to know that, you know, 99.9% of everyone who plays this should be able to see it, even if you're colorblind. Well, and there you are. Who's the designer? It's you. Yeah. Always nice touch.
I think I've got the exact same outfit on purposely as well.
You have? Oh my god, there you go. He sleeps, eats and breathes in that outfit, everyone.
I think that was like, I can't believe I color coordinated with the game.
No, it's nice.
I'm wearing a grey cardigan today, but
yeah.
I don't have
And of course you've got nice clear shipping on here as well, which is good. Because
some of those
shipping prices has been really kicked people.
I just appreciate the transparency, you know. Yeah,
it's a tough thing. I think unfortunately a lot of the kind of there seems to be a bit of sort of loss of confidence with Kickstarter, because it's become like a big pre-order platform for a lot of people, where they
just so many Kickstarters are delayed, right? Where
it
gets so frustrating after if it's the 20th thing you back that's delayed. I get why people get frustrated.
But there's a thing of companies kickstarting half a game, or you know, like they promise tons of content. I mean, everything in this has been designed. The only thing that isn't, we're waiting for those 2 pieces of artwork, which should be along like this week. And I mean, I skipped the process because normally you get your prototypes done sort of locally or something, but I got this done actually by the manufacturer, and that's going to produce the final game. So we've used all the same stocks they're going to use. Is actually the proper process. So effectively, in its current state, I could press the button on that and go straight after the campaign.
Nice.
So it just means I hope that, because I'm a new creator and stuff, you've got to do that extra to kind of get people's confidence, I think, and know they're going to actually receive something, and not, even though I have overestimated the time as well to receive it, but that'll kind of factor in a few things.
Always try and overestimate. You know,
yeah,
it's one thing I've learned in my industry. You know, I work in the IT industry as my main day job. I always try to overestimate, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know,
and the reality is unfortunately something always happens.
Exactly. You know, even Scotty did it in Star Trek.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, it's looking great, and you've got your full timeline here, along with your previews here, which is nice. So hopefully we're looking for full completement in March 24, which is not that far away.
Yeah, it's 11 months. I mean, fingers crossed we'll be sooner than that, but yeah, that's a kind of quite reserved estimate. Leaves a good amount of time,
and we appreciate it. We certainly do. So
yeah,
You know, and people are backing it. You know, Henry has confirmed he's just pre-ordered his copy. He played it at Tabletop Gaming Live 2022, and it's just brilliant. You cannot wait to play it for real.
Yeah, thanks, Henry.
Nice. Thank you, Henry. It's great to hear so many people playing the game, and of course, you know, everyone who's done reviews for you, not just ourselves. You know, we're not the only people that have done a review for you, and you know, the feedback's been consistent, which says something. You know, I think we're looking here at a brand new gateway game in the area that is tabletop. You know, worker placement, area control.
I think it's a great game for like people who are unsure whether they like high conflict games.
Yeah,
it's a really good one because, and that's been the feedback from people who are like, oh, I don't normally enjoy this, you know, a very conflicted game, and that's nice. I really like that because that shows it's got an area somewhere. It kind of fits into a slot where there's something.
Do you feel like it's not too overly cutthroat? Then
it's definitely, because of I think the nature of it. You can usually see who's ahead, and whoever's ahead probably has most stuff on the board. So you kind of know. It's kind of one of those things where it's very clear to see what you need to do to kind of try and get back into the lead. So you won't be kicking players when they're down very often. And even if you did, they'd be rewarded for it. So, you know, they're not going to completely get picked on. So we had a game I played at Aircon with a group of people. The person who won that game was in the lead in the second round, and then just got obliterated because they were like, "You're in the lead," and it was almost like, "Oh, are they going to be able to come?" But it's like they were wiped off the board completely, and they came back and won it. So I really like that. And they won by, I think, 1 point. So it always tends to be close. It's kind of self-balancing, but yeah, I think it's really good for if you also, because you get rewarded for pretty much everything you do. You'll get rewarded for recruiting stuff. You get rewarded for just building areas up. If you want to play like a slightly less attacky game, a bit more defensively, you can do that. That's a viable strategy. But then, and what I find is people when they first play it, almost the first round, people will kind of not necessarily attack people. And then they kind of get to this point where like, oh, okay, I'll give it a go. And then like by the third round, it's like everyone's all out attacking everyone because they realize it's not that bad. You're not hurting people's feelings. So yeah, I think it's I'm really hoping it finds its place in sort of like, if you're interested in introducing your friends or your family to like something like Kemet, or like a bit more of a kind of slightly more complex, more sort of back and forth, cutthroat game. This will be a good one if you think, oh, that's a bit, that's not kind of, there's a bit too much of them. This will be a great one in the middle. Awesome. And it just ends too, which I like.
Well, you've got a really nice feedback here from Guillaume Baudreau. I hope I've not butchered that pronouncement, mate. I mean, if I have, I'm very sorry. Unable to post the screenshot, but you'll find Crown of Ash on the Kickstarter homepage, Fresh Favorites blog.
Congrats.
That's amazing.
Really? It's on
Apparently so.
Let's have a look. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
well spotted. And Passengers as well. Give a shout out to them. They're another designer that the licensing company I'm doing a week dealing with, and there that looks like a fantastic game. There's so many good games I could recommend all day.
Oh, exactly. But you know, David here said, I think what makes this game unique is it doesn't feel like on the rails like a lot of board games on this kind of nature can end up. Yeah, and I agree with that. He says he really likes the mechanics, and I think, you know, the mesh really well, and the AI mode is great. The AI solo play is harsh. It kicked my ass. I know it's changed. But man, did it kick my butt. It really did. It's tough. It is tough, but that's what you want.
Like asking solo players, like, how often do you like to lose? Because that's like, you know, winning all the time it's
no fun. There's no challenge.
I don't want to win all the time. I want to just about lose and know what I need to do next time. And like, okay, that's interesting.
Exactly.
And I think it's tough, but there's ways that you can tweak it for your own quite easily for your own difficulty level. But yeah, I'm really proud of the solo mode. I think it feels like a bit of a different game. You're basically this solo character is just going to race off ahead, start grabbing loads of points, and it will interact with you in all the same ways a person will. It will attack you, it will build, it will do all these things, and you have to basically cut off its engine. You have to like take away the buildings that are going to hurt it the most and stop it from doing things, and you can slightly work out what possibly things it could do. And yeah, it's a very different bad, but I love it. Yeah, it's very cool.
It is. So let's do a very quick shout out here and now. So of course, if you have backed it, so thank you very much for everyone who's probably backed this already. Make sure you join Richard's social media. Check out the Crown of Ash Facebook group, the Instagram, and of course Twitter as well. Let's do a quick update and see how the total is, shall we? See how we go.
100 backers.
Over
100 backers.
Yeah.
You're there. That's a great start. It's an amazing start, particularly for your show.
I really appreciate it for that. Great. That's amazing.
Yeah. Gregor says, hi, Chris, Richard, and Grant. When were you last on a DOALG stream? Richard had delayed the launch of Crown of Ash Kickstarter. How valuable was that extra time in the end?
Good question.
Yeah, that was very good question. So
it was. You were on stream, yeah.
For that, the main reason that we delayed it was the plan was to get prototypes done for UKG last year, and those proved harder to get hold of. So we got a couple of ones. One that went off to Chris, but then there was sort of some teething problems with that. Okay, so we were just like, all right, let's see what we can do. So the choice was made to then actually get the prototypes produced in China using all the final stocks. So it's almost like we've used that time to skip a step later down the line. So although it delayed the game by 6 months or so, I think the plan was September last year. Not only that allowed to build a much bigger following, which is probably really wise. I mean, you just need to have a lot of people following the campaign to succeed now. But it's allowed all the artwork to be finished. It's allowed the prototypes to be properly made and the stocks to be picked and the artwork to basically be the actual print artwork to be done. So yeah, we're in a really good. I don't know if we'd done the campaign in September last year, it probably would have been that we needed 18 months to produce it. So I don't think it would have got the game any quicker. And with adding in stuff like the asymmetric player powers and stuff, that extra time has allowed us to kind of experiment with that a bit more. And so yeah, I mean it's worth doing. I think like to other creators out there who are considering, if you're not ready, yeah, absolutely delay. It's the right thing to do. It's like the worst thing to do is to rush it, I think, and wish you delayed it.
Well, I've got one last question. Unless Grant, have you got any other questions you want to ask?
No, just congratulations. This is all very exciting.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it really is. It really is. The last thing would be to say to you, if there was someone out there, in two minds about what to do, about whether they wanted to back a, Kickstarter a game or pitch it to someone, what would your advice be?
My advice would be: do you have a set of skills that you can bring to the process that will allow you to do most of it? If you're an illustrator, you might be able to use those skills. If you can basically probably do a lot of the most expensive work of the game, which is buying that illustration and things like that. If you work in marketing, you know how to do your own ads and things like that. That's good. If you, like me, a graphic designer, you can do all the graphic design yourself. That takes a big chunk of the what you need a publisher for, and allows you to produce something. Basically, you're going to have to, if you're going to self-publish, you're either going to have to hire people to do this, or you're going to have to try and learn to do it yourself. Learning to do stuff yourself when you're not an expert in it just means you're probably going to do something subpar, no matter how much you try. So I would suggest, if you are really confident that you can kind of illustrate your own game or something like that, then maybe you can do it yourself. But it's another full-time job basically. You're going to be doing so much things, the logistics and all the kind of, we're doing just so much kind of talking to people, so many partners that you have to kind of be in contact with, your fulfillment partners, and I wouldn't recommend ever trying to do those kind of yourself. I've tried to hand off as much of those things I'm not 100% sure that I'm an expert in to other people who are experts, because I'm just like, this is my first time. Let's let people who know what they're doing do it. And
that makes sense. That's great advice.
Pitching is the way to go if you're a game designer and that's what you do, and your day job is something completely unrelated. If you're a chef and also a game designer, I think probably unless you just happen to be a really wealthy chef and you think, well, I can put loads of money towards it. But yeah, if I didn't have the ability to even like design my own Kickstarter page and things like that, having outsourced that would have been so stressful. So yeah, I think I wouldn't say never do it. It's hopefully it'll be rewarding. I mean, but it's a lot of work. I'd pitch it. Maybe do both. You can always pitch it first, and if nothing comes in and you really believe in it, then take it to that other level. Like, you don't have to have one or the other.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. That is great
Grant,
tips.
You've pitched games and
I mean, that's exactly. I mean, you sort of said exactly what I would have done. So I've got a game published and a couple signed, and I've never wanted to do the Kickstarter route, partly because I don't want it to be my full time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you have to be prepared for it to be your full time thing. You want
to be a comedian. That's
exactly.
what you want to do.
It's like I wanted to develop an idea and then give that idea to someone else and then move on to other ideas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's the other thing, is you have great creative control when you do your own Kickstarter and stuff. So that's the other thing, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
But if you're willing to put in the time and have basically a full-time gig on top of your full-time gig, then
and you can manage stress, then go for it.
Yeah. It's rewarding. I mean, the best thing about it it's put me in so many positions that I wouldn't have gone in myself. It's forced me to meet people and make friends, and not even talking to you guys. I mean, if I published it, I never would have done this. It's very unlikely. So it's definitely got its perks. But I don't know. It's not for everyone. And I'd say probably when in doubt, probably just pitch first, and then see where it takes you. I mean,
I think a good medium would be pitch, but then ask a publisher if you can be involved in the process. So
that's a cool idea.
Learn some of the steps along the way while someone else is holding your hand, and then maybe you have another game in your future that you do yourself.
I mean, definitely I can imagine for Grant producing games, the publishers would be pretty pleased to see your following. You're like, this is gonna help.
This is gonna help. Exactly. Well, look, it's a nice point to end the stream.
So much.
You're over 110 backers already, so you're good. A good proportion of the way through, which is incredible. All I'm going to say to you, Richard, is congratulations on designing what I would call, a stunning and beautifully well-crafted game. So do, enjoy the next, few hours, because I can imagine, look, it's gone up again already. It's, perpetual engine it is. It's still going at 111 backers right now. So thanks for joining us. And if you have watched the show and you've enjoyed the show, then of course, please do go and check out Grant. He's an amazing comedian. Check out his content on YouTube. He's got his own YouTube channel, and of course, he does board game content create as well. So it's really great to have you on the show, and I've absolutely relished you being here.
Yeah,
because I'm not at all a fan.
one, thanks for having me, but two, it's fun to be part of this and to see the success of the campaign as it launched, you know.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Yeah,
no, that's good. It's nice to see, you know, something, you know, doing well, you know, straight off the bat. So it's lovely. So yeah, if you have obviously haven't backed it yet and you want to take a further look at it, then of course check out the all important website, which is of course Crown of Ash. Wait, it decides to go. Why is it not showing up? Crown. Oh no, it's the branding. What am I doing? I'm hitting the wrong button. It goes all to pot at the end. Check out the Crown of Ash website, crownofash.com. Of course, you can also, the Kickstarter link is scrolling across the bottom if you like typing in really long things. But it's all linked through the main website. Of course, our review is also online as well. So if you want to, you can go out, check out DOALG.co.uk and check out the full review there too. If you aren't already a follower of the channel, please subscribe. And I'm obscuring my own face here. But no, please do subscribe. It means a lot to us because I'm not the only one here at Diary of a Lincoln Geek. We are a team that works together of 8. You know, we've got lots of reviewers, we've got the editorial team, and of course my face and other people who contribute to the podcast. So if you want to support us going forward with anything in the future, please do also check out our Patreon because, you know, every little bit helps. So thank you, everyone. We've got some lovely comments coming up on screen. Scott says, congratulations on a successful launch. It'll be funded in no time. And also, thank you very much. It's really nice of you to say thanks for putting this on. We've really enjoyed it. That's what I look to hear. You know, this is what we do. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Right. Well, look, go back it if you haven't backed it, you lot, and because I'm going to be heading off and doing a few bits of admin. But it's been great having you all. Great chatting. Please do stay on the line, guys, at the end because we have a few little things that have to come up on screen now. But if you aren't already, check it out. Stay safe, everyone. Take care and keep gaming. Honey Badger Games sponsors Diary of a Lincoln Geek, the perfect treat for any class. They have an amazing selection of meeples, dice and potions, all in fantastic jelly form. Check out the website and the discounts below. Well, we hope you've all enjoyed the show. If you have, please hit that relevant social media icon and show your love. In the meantime, please do subscribe if you aren't already following us on YouTube. And of course, make sure you stay safe and keep gaming, everyone.